3 for my pre-departure Amsterdam trip, so thank you. Um, so I think one thing I found really interesting was the fact, kind of the conversation we had towards the end that Maddie brought up about how she felt like when the author was using queer, they were only talking about gay and lesbian identified people, and not necessarily being more inclusive in that. And I definitely saw the point. And so something I agree. I think the overwhelmingly evidence shows that there was more talking about the author's worldview, and that's kind of how they were writing. Um, but I also think that part of that is because of this development of queer language that has kind of been going on in the last 15, 20 years. Because if you look at the development of language and the words that have come out of different identities, I mean, it's much more expansive than it was even 10, 15 years ago. I mean, take the word pansexual, for example. I think the word pansexual is a very new term for a lot of people. I mean, historically, it's probably only 10, 15, 20 years old as far as mainstream use. And then that's not even mentioning words like demisexual, asexual, agender, aromantic, all different kinds of and then, I mean, of course, then you even get into, like, distinguishing romantic attractions and gender expression and stuff like that, and kind of how all of those have become very different identities um, as this movement has continued forward since the publication of this particular piece that we read. So, that being said, again, I definitely think that there was more evidence to support Maddie's claim that the author was being kind of exclusive, slightly exclusive by using that term, and again, not intentionally, but that's just how it came out. Again, I also found the discussion around lesbian feminism really interesting, because I've never really learned about lesbian feminism, so I think we talked about this, but I thought it was really interesting that there was more of a salient identity with lesbian feminism in being a woman than there necessarily was being a lesbian. I think what kind of struck me about that was because of the being historically excluded from mainstream feminist movements. So I just found that really interesting. I don't know if that's something we're going to explore more. I wouldn't mind. But yeah, so all that was really cool. As far as like how the whole facilitation went, I thought it went really well. I think that there definitely needs to be more discussion from us, and I think that's on us as a group to kind of talk more. And obviously, the second meeting, everyone's really nervous. They don't want, blah, blah, trying to figure things out, and I get that. But I think that the conversation definitely seemed to be a little bit dominated by the facilitators. Not that there's anything wrong with that, especially when people aren't talking. That's fine. I just want to see everyone talk more about things. So I really want to get everyone's opinion on these pieces. So hopefully that'll change in the next meeting, and by the time we get to Amsterdam and stuff like that. So. But overall, I'm actually really, really excited to keep doing this. I am really excited to start reading the book we're reading. Gosh, I'm forgetting the name right now. But I'm really excited to read it. I'm really excited to discuss it. And I don't know, the meeting kind of gave me a feeling of excitement for the whole trip. I think those are the kind of discussions we're going to have regularly, and then I'm really excited. I'm excited to be a part of that, and so yeah, it should be good. So can't wait to have the next meeting, and talk to everyone soon. Thanks. Bye.